Ken Zalis joins us in the live casino hotel studio press box. This is the Press Box Fantasy Football Show, brought to you by Glory Days Grill and Wise Markets. Want to thank Wise Markets for making things happen for us. Need groceries today but don't have time to shop? Order online with same-day pickup or delivery at Wise Markets. Wise to go online now. That's convenient. Hello, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I would have won going away in one particular league, but like an idiot, I got fidgety on Monday night and decided, I know what I'll do. I'll just insert Hunter Renfrow into the starting lineup and bench Tyrell Williams.
A lot of smart guys thought Tyrell Williams was going to get shut down.
Yeah, they were idiots. They were idiots.
You know, a lot of experts.
Of idiots. Yeah, that went really well for me.
I just wish you had asked me.
I did. I got two different answers during the week. At first, you said Renfrow. Then later in the week, you said Tyrell Williams.
I did.
And I just got fidgety.
But it wasn't. But it wasn't like it was later in the week, like the game had started.
No, I know that. It's
all good.
Such is life. It's the way things go. Let's start with the Ravens. Just generically, what do you make of what you saw in Week 1, and how must start at least are the group of Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, and Marquise Brown moving forward?
Let me take the latter first. Andrews, because of the way tight ends are, is a must start.
Yeah,
he just is. Lamar is a QB1 right now. Couple of guys that we thought were QB1s didn't really look great, so he's a QB1 because he's got some favorable matchups, next couple of weeks. So Marquise Brown, I have to wait and see. I know he was a very, very popular waiver wire pickup, as he should be. I'm just not – he's just below flex for me because I need to see more, and the reason I need to see more is he ran 5 routes. I mean he was –
and the total number of snaps he was on the field
it's not right. But so it's – was that because that was the plan for him as he's working back from an injury? He also didn't practice yesterday. Or was that just game flow and, they're killing this team 28-0 in the first quarter. Why are we risking any of our guys that may have any type of injuries whatsoever? Let's get them out of the game and do things like that.
Right.
So I just want to see it again. I want to see the usage a little bit more before I can say, okay, this is going to be the number one guy on the Ravens offense that's going to maybe throw the ball more than we thought they were going to. I mean, the game script was such that Lamar threw 20 times. He only ran 3. I think that's going to probably be a season low for the year. So it was just – I think it was a little bit more about, how the game flow was and who they were playing before I'm going to go all in on Marquise Brown.
All right, some of the big topics that are out there in the world of fantasy football this week. We'll start in Washington in the backfield. It's Derrius Guice, torn meniscus. So this is a multi-layered situation, right? Let's start, I guess, cover all of it, right? For the Guice owners, is it worth keeping him around on your roster? Do you risk somebody else picking him up if you need the roster spot? And then it seems like everybody's talking about Adrian Peterson, but again, he wasn't even active. Chris Thompson was.
Yeah.
What do you go about doing as far as the Washington backfield's concerned?
So here's something I learned today. Check all of your rosters in fantasy and see if you have an IR spot.
Yeah.
I learned that I have one IR spot in a couple of leagues, and I was able to put Guice on one of them.
This is another odd question, though, right? A lot of people would say, yeah, but what if I need that spot for somebody really important?
But you can work that out later. I mean, for today, I had Hunter Henry in a league, and I'm like, man, what am I going to do now? I don't want to really drop him. And I was like, oh, I have an IR spot. Okay, he goes to the IR spot. Now, if Christian McCaffrey gets hurt in that league and is going to come back, that IR spot goes to him.
Right.
And I'll deal with the tight end, and Hunter Henry will go on the waiver wire, and let's see what happens at that point. But for today, check that. Look, this is going to be a multi-layered, like you said, thing. I think Chris Thompson is the guy to own overall, but Peterson is going to be involved. He's going to get the short yardage stuff. He's going to get the goal line stuff. So you really have to add both. If I could only add one, I would tell people in a standard you're going Peterson. In a PPR, half PPR situation, you're probably going Chris Thompson. Man, it sucks for Guice because every time you see him play, whether preseason or regular game, he looks pretty good. He looks the part, and he just can't stay healthy.
Let's say you were in a league where like you were screwed over because you couldn't show up for the draft, and your running back situation is a disaster. Like just hypothetically, if you're in a situation like that,
yeah.
And you had to play, say, like Adrian Peterson or Malcolm Brown in a PPR.
Again, that's another one of the things that we try not to overreact to 1 week, but it sure did look like Malcolm Brown and Gurley was a complete timeshare.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're going to believe what we saw in week 1 to be fact, then I would play Malcolm Brown over Adrian Peterson simply because it's the better team, more goal line situations, and I think they get if they both get 15 snaps, I'd rather have the 15 snaps with the better team.
I don't disagree with that.
So I would go Malcolm Brown. Now, we have to see how that works out. The 2 touchdowns were nice. Those 2 touchdowns could equally have gone to Gurley if it was his time to be in the game at that point. So that's kind of again, Malcolm Brown was one of those guys everybody rushed out to get, and you should have. But we kind of got to wait and see, and it's the whole, one loss in fantasy football 1 week shouldn't create panic for everybody. Although I know it does.
It does.
I know it does.
One win creates panic.
It freaks people out. I mean,
also it's fantasy football. We only get 15 of these, or
but
16
you only
at
get
most.
12 or 13 regular season weeks.
So like they're all pretty precious.
It is. But you try not to overreact to it. Just like we got the question about John Ross all week. And everybody's like, well, how much, if you play in a league with fab money, which is you get $100 or $1,000 to bid.
Right, how much are you bidding on
free
John
agent?
Ross?
And I said, I'm bidding 10%. They're like, oh, that seems low. I'm like, first of
it's
all,
one game. Yeah.
First of all, it's one game. Second of all, if I know nobody probably watched that game, but his 2 long touchdowns were a flea flicker and a total busted coverage where nobody picked him up. Like, Kyle could have scored. Okay, he could have scored. No, Glenn.
I've seen Kyle at work at a bar before. I don't know if he was going to score.
He could have scored.
Not what you're talking about, Glenn.
He could have scored going backward. That was good. He could have scored walking backwards. It was so ridiculous. So I don't put a lot into it. I put more in what I saw from Marquise Brown than what I saw for John Ross, because Brown scored in the flow of an offense,
like the way that you expect him to be used.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything more about John Brown unless that I knew before, which is he is fast, and if he catches the ball, he is a threat to go, the entire distance.
John Ross. We keep doing this thing with John Ross.
John
Brown.
John Brown had a good week.
Yeah,
and that's John Brown's going to be the number 1 receiver in Buffalo.
All right,
so
let's touch on a couple more just sort of broad topics.
Yep.
You brought up Hunter Henry. Is there any value in Virgil Green at all, or he's got to look elsewhere?
Let's put it this way: he has as much value. I mean, I've seen people say, "Well, am I picking up Eifert? Am I picking up Kyle Rudolph? Am I picking up Jimmy?" No, Hawkinson's an easy upgrade. He's a top 10 guy.
You're just now putting Penn in there.
Kyle just wants to bring up TJ Hawkinson as much as he can.
He was fantastic.
That's fine.
Enjoyed every
this isn't a knock on TJ Hawkinson. You have to understand this
Virgil,
is a Kyle thing.
I know, but he's in that lump of guys to pull out of a hat. And 1 week he may do well because he'll score a touchdown, but he's not. He's not going to be part of that. He's not getting 10 targets a week. So if you want to, sure. He's as good as any of the other guys that are ranked 15 to 25 on most boards, but I'm not rushing out to grab him.
A couple people have, by the way, brought up when you mentioned the IR thing, make sure that you check your settings for IR, right? Because like some leagues say you have to have a player on IR. If you put them on IR, they got to be there for 6 weeks, right?
Oh,
so you do have to make sure you check your settings.
Guys could be out 6 weeks.
So good Henry.
But a bunch of these things.
Right.
Yeah,
sure.
just
for example,
like
Tyreek Hill does not look like he's going to be out 6 weeks.
4-2-6, I think they said.
It could be 6 weeks.
It could be. So who knows? But I was just very happy that they would do it. I was
like,
I usually don't play leagues with IRs in football.
Let's talk about Kansas City next.
Yes.
So obviously the name that everybody's talking about is Mecole Hardman.
Yep.
And look, I think he's a grab. I almost think like in a lot of situations he's a play pretty quickly.
I don't know if he's a play. Again, I'm slower than most on some of these things. I want to actually see what the offense is with him. I mean, I know he's fast, but he's not Tyreek Hill. They have the Anthony Thomas there too that they like. They have Demarcus Robinson there that they like. So it's going to be a multitude of people are going to take the targets that Tyreek Hill had going to him. It's not going to be one person. It's not like Mecole Hardman is going to come in and beat Tyreek Hill. So he's a flex at best for me. I don't think he's in the top 36 for wide receivers for me this week.
Also discussion that Anthony Thomas could split snaps in that role with him.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff. We have to see how this is before. If you're desperate and you had, Mike Williams went down and we don't know if he's going to play, and there's a couple of other wide receivers you don't know if they're going to play. If you're an Antonio Brown owner, who knows what's there. I mean, there are some situations already through week 1 that you're probably more desperate than we would expect to be in week 2.
Obviously, the many Quincy and Noonwall owners. Obviously, there's many of those.
I'm sure.
Right?
I'm sure. It was funny because I actually listed a Noonwall on a guy. You're okay to drop him, and that was before the injury. I had no idea he was that hurt. I was like, just look at that. Now the whole Jet thing is even worse with. Well,
I mean, look, Trevor Simeon's a must pick up, right? Because he's probably going to throw for 300 yards. It's Trevor Simeon. I don't know if you know.
Kind of just a fact.
This is the T.J. Hawkinson guy. This is the guy.
Yeah.
I'm way off the Simeon train. For what it's worth.
Way off.
Hawkinson, I think, has a more viable.
I mean, let's put it this way. I'll say this: Simeon can't be much worse than Darnold was last week. So I mean,
is Vedvik still kicking?
No, he's a free agent. Why is he not on the practice squad yet for the Ravens? I think that would be
so the crazy. They can trade him again next summer.
Right. I'm like, you've got to side him just as the biggest joke.
They might know he stinks. They might.
I don't think they do.
Not really good.
I don't think they do. And why teams aren't looking at him as a punter is beyond me. But that's okay. It was a different tangent. But I'm not on the Mecole Hardman's got to be a must start this week train. No.
All right. Just one more as far as we touched on all the generic stuff. Was there any other big top storyline?
Antonio Brown was one thing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's just nothing right now. There's nothing.
If he plays, right? Is he a must start?
If he plays,
this week?
you have to play him. I mean, you have to play
he's
him.
Antonio Brown.
Can I just say, and I talked about this in another place this morning. Anybody that's
did you?
Your bathroom? What do you mean?
I do other things.
Oh, for God's sake! On the radio?
On the radio. I don't know how
can we talk about that with it's fine. Just maybe another day.
What?
Maybe like a Thursday exclusive with you.
We can't do that. Whatever.
You say whatever.
It's both get the audience, but I'm those that are expecting Antonio Brown to be a wide receiver 1, I think are going to be very disappointed this year if he plays.
Okay.
This is not. Well, the offense is not set up for him to get 10 to 15 targets every single week. They have too much talent, especially with wide receiver with Edelman and while Gordon is healthy and James White gets his 5 to 7 targets every week. I mean, they ran the ball 20 plus times. There's not enough snaps for Antonio Brown to be a consistent wide receiver 1 every single week. So for me, he's a low wide receiver 2, a wide receiver 3 if he plays this week. So yes, you're playing him, but let's not go overboard on what this is. This is a completely different situation than you would have had even in Oakland, where is the clear number 1, or in Pittsburgh, where they ran things through him. It's not going that way in New England.
All right, when we come back in, we're going to answer your questions. Get them in at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter. Put them in the comments, and we will pose them to Ken Zalis. We'll also pose my questions, of which I always have many. We're going to be doing that next. I need 1 minute, and then we'll come back in And we'll get your questions in on the Pressbox Fantasy Football Show with Ken Zalis. Catch all of the action at your neighborhood Glory Days Grill, where we have tons of TVs to catch every moment of every game. Enjoy $5.99 burgers on Mondays, $5.99 nachos on Thursdays, and drink specials throughout the season to help you cheer on your favorite teams. Come in today and try something new from our seasonal menu. Glory Days Grill, great food, good sports.
Need groceries today but don't have time to shop? Order online with same-day pickup or delivery at Wise Markets. Wise to go online. Now that's convenient.
It's the Pressbox Fantasy Football Show with Ken Zalis. Hey, we've added another show every week to our Pressbox platform as the Pressbox High School Football Show with Booker Corrigan and Dom D'Amico, the former McDonough coach, is every Monday at 12:30, breaking down everything going on in the world of high school football locally. And as we joked about on Monday, it's not just going to be St. Francis is good every week. That will not be the entirety. Although they're quite good, St. Francis. That will not be all that show is each and every Monday. They're going to talk about a lot more. So make sure you're tuned in every Monday at 12:30. Same locations, facebook.com/PressboxSports, PressboxOnline.com/radio. It's available as a podcast in the greatest hits section at GlennClarkRadio.com. All of those places you can find it. Appreciate all the sponsors that make that possible. The Pressbox High School Football Show each and every Monday. All right, Ken Zalis,
Yes.
let me get through some questions.
Am I allowed to talk to either one of you about lineups this week? I think I'm playing you both.
Oh, really?
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even.
In different
I
leagues.
don't care.
I'm not as
about that.
attentive in that other league. Yeah.
I know.
Not as much my concern. Not to say I'm not. I set my lineup. I take it
Of
seriously
course.
because it's part, but not nearly my concern.
Okay, let's go.
I am playing you in that.
Yeah.
In one of those leagues.
Yeah.
All right. We will begin with
Yeah, you wanna play me also?
John from Little Rock. Here's his list. He needs one of these as a flex. Latavius Murray, Marvin Jones, James White, Calvin Ridley, Aaron Jones.
PPR, did you say?
Yes.
James White.
All right.
Always going to be my answer.
I mean, he catches a lot of balls. That is a very fair point. Jazz wants to know Calvin Ridley or Hollywood Brown.
Calvin Ridley. I mean, again, just going back with the Brown, we don't know how the usage really is yet.
Paul, Russell Wilson or Phillip Rivers.
I'm going to go Wilson. They're close this week for me. How close? Yeah, but Russell Wilson's the better play.
All these guys are available. Would you pick up one of them? I'd pick up Terry McLaurin, A.J. Brown, Chris Conley, DJ Chark.
Brown, McLaurin, Chark.
In that order. Okay. How do you? I guess generically, specifically about Brown and McLaurin, how do you feel about those guys?
I thought, they look like they're going to be very involved. A.J. Brown's going to get single coverage because everybody's worried about Davis on the other side and stopping the run. So I like that. I like his skill set in one-on-one coverage. McLaurin seems like a big play guy. I don't know how often games like that are going to happen. I like Chark a lot. I like the skill set, but they just don't throw the ball enough for me.
Start 2. Fitz, Tyrell Williams, Deshaun Jackson, Mecole Hardman.
You got to start Jackson and Fitz. No. Who was it?
Tyrell Williams and Mecole
Tyrell
Hardman.
Williams right now. You got
over Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah. He had a
pretty good week in week 1.
He had a pretty good week, but it also didn't come until fourth quarter. It's tough for again, cross country on the road. I don't know how that works out too well, but the other two are heavily involved. I mean, Williams is the top receiver right now in Oakland, and that offense looked good enough against what we thought was going to be a pretty good Broncos defense this year. And you ride the hot hand they threw deep to Jackson often. So I still like that play in a pretty good matchup this week.
Calvin Ridley or Robert Woods. From Pressbox's own Luke Jackson, David Njoku or Darren Waller.
Believe it or not, I'm gonna go Waller. We'll ride him another week. I don't know, something. There's only a lot of people said it in the off season with Cleveland, but there's still only one football, and Njoku may be the one that gets the least amount of targets in that passing game, as talented as everybody thinks he is.
Jamie says, in a half-point PPR, one from this group, Fitz, Hollywood Brown, Robbie Anderson, Dede Westbrook, Miles Sanders.
That's quite a group. Because it's a half PPR and I want the floor, I'm going to go D.D. Westbrook because of the targets.
Okay.
Because of the targets that are there. Minshew looked good. He's a capable thrower. He was always accurate in college, so I don't downgrade him that much. And the other ones are just kind of wonky to me.
Need a flex from this group: Adrian Peterson, Chris Thompson, John Ross, Greg Olson, Miles Sanders.
PPR?
Yes.
Then it's Chris Thompson.
Okay. Go ahead, Kyle. I'm resetting here.
So let's just say you had the likes of Galladay and Tyler Boyd as your number two receiver and flex. Would you play any of the three of Cortland Sutton, Michael Gallup, or Terry McLaurin over any of them?
Wow, I really want to play Gallup this week.
Really?
Yeah, I like the matchup. He's going to be on the number 2 corner. I really like his matchup this week. I don't know if I can. If I was going to play him over anyone, it would be Boyd.
Because of Richard Sherman.
Yeah. If I'm gonna play him, I'm gonna play him over Boyd because I want Galladay in there.
Okay. If you've been holding in both leagues, Hockenson and Andrews, which one do you like better rest of season? Or do you just kind of have to wait a week and kind of see who?
Nothing much changes for me. I still like Andrews better. Andrews confirmed everything that we thought the usage was going to be. Hockenson looked great, no doubt about it. A lot of mouths to feed there, and I still feel that Andrews is the play most weeks.
Would you play Tyrell Williams over Tyler Lockett?
No, not this week.
Would you flex any of LaShawn McCoy, Tyrell Williams, or Chris Thompson, or Hockenson, I guess, over Damian Williams?
No, I'm gonna stick with Damian Williams. I mean, he did enough. His usage was 2-to-1 over McCoy. He got the goal line carries. He caught the balls out of the backfield. I was encouraged enough with how they used him, and maybe he helps even more so with Hill out. So no, I'd run him. I mean, the Oakland defense isn't great. I know they played well on Monday night, but they're not great.
And then last I got for you, what do you make of the Houston backfield?
I mean, it's still Duke over Hyde for me. It's.
But Hyde's a must-own somewhere in the league.
Yeah, he's a must-own where you have 6-7 bench spots. If you have a small bench, he's probably not a must-own. But it's still Duke for me. I mean, Hyde for me isn't even flex-worthy right now because of the usage. There's no. I mean, there was a lot of talk, and maybe I didn't pay enough attention to it. But there was talk of him being in the slot. I didn't see any of that in the game. They have multiple wide receivers that can handle that. Kuti is going to come back at some point. So, and Duke's the better pass catcher overall. So if they're going to give them both 10 carries a week, and then they're going to use Duke as the third down guy, then Hyde doesn't have much value for me.
Want to pick up my next week defense. I got Houston going this week. Want to pick up my next week defense.
Okay.
Do you? First of all, do you have any idea about week 3 just yet?
No. I know this is not helpful sometimes, but I truly live week to week.
It's not helpful, Ken.
I'm
going to be the one to say
I don't even know.
I
don't even know until Tuesday who anybody plays next week except the Ravens.
So thanks for nothing.
I'm sorry.
First of all, I want you to know
you
that.
can tell me who
Thanks
they play.
For nothing.
You can list a few of them.
All right, so I'm going to tell you who this is what we're doing.
Tell me
here.
who's left.
The defenses that are available right now. The Eagles defense is available. They have I don't know why I can't find what the Eagles. They have the Lions next week.
Okay, it's not a bad option.
That's not a bad option. The Titans defense is available. They have the Jaguars next week.
Also not a terrible option.
The Colts defense is available. They have the Falcons next week.
Gonna skip that.
None of these really seem all that appealing otherwise. The Steelers are at the 49ers. The Browns have the Rams.
No.
The Jets have the Patriots. No, that's a no.
No, I mean, how long is it? Did we get anything on what's his name, the linebacker?
I'm not sure which what's his name you're specifically referring to.
The linebacker from the Ravens that went there.
Mosley.
Oh, yeah.
Questionable.
Yeah.
How long is he out? Because that's going to make a big difference of how valuable that defense is. Of what you just said to me,
the Eagles or the Titans.
I lean towards the Titans.
Okay. And are you dropping Demarius or Anthony Miller? I'm guessing Demarius.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Panthers tonight?
I still need him to answer this question.
Yeah,
Chief.
Demarius. I thought Demarius had some value if he was with the Patriots at some point, but with the Jets,
Go ahead. Ask
How do you feel about the Panthers?
Hey, I got a
tonight?
question for you, Ken. if you don't mind, could you answer my question instead?
It also matters because next week they're playing the Cardinals, who's not exactly. You know.
I like the Panthers because Thursday nights are usually ugly, and it's simple. It's as simple as that. I mean, at some point, I know that the Bucks were just god awful on offense last week, but they have a lot of talent on their offense, so they're going to break out at some point. I just don't see it on a Thursday night. Short week, having to travel. I don't like this.
From Steve,
Steve.
Carolina defense or Minnesota defense? It's got to be Carolina, right?
Yeah, it's Carolina this week.
Yeah, play Carolina.
Minnesota. Where are they? Minnesota's playing
Green Bay. Yeah, you got to play them.
Yeah.
Would you play Carolina over the Browns? I know that Simeon's in.
You know, the Browns were really exposed last week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I probably would. I have to see the Browns play better before I trust them. I mean, they gave up 43 points to a team that really wasn't expected to be an offensive powerhouse, and they did it. It wasn't just on the ground; they did it through the air. Derrick Henry had a 75-yard touchdown catch. Derrick Henry. I don't even know how he gets that open.
I don't have the answer.
I mean, and then they literally didn't want to tackle him. just like, I don't want to be near you. I'm just going to run next to you.
I've got the Bills defense in one league. I feel decent about that.
I feel good about
this week and next week, but the Packers defense is sitting out there.
I don't feel great about the Packers.
I'm not looking to play them this week.
Who do they play
I would play
next
the
week?
Bills this week. Next week they have the Broncos.
Denver,
So
that offensive line is
so my question would be, I would have to drop either Gumbawale or Alexander Madsen, and I am a Dalvin Cook owner.
Well, then you're not playing Madsen.
So I basically have to drop a Gumbawale. I guess I could drop Mecole Hardman.
I'll say this: you can drop Dare because that's easier for me to say.
Yes,
it
is.
But I'm just telling everybody, and I said it before the season, he's going to be a thing at some point. So
would you be dropping him if for a defense that you like, but you have a defense that you feel pretty good about for a couple of
probably
weeks?
Not.
Yeah.
He's right now. He's for sure their third down back in Tampa, and he runs well enough that he's just an ankle sprain away from maybe taking over everything there.
Okay.
So I really, really like what I've seen from him.
You're saying you're not in a rush.
I'm not in a rush.
To part ways with him.
I'm not, because I have him on multiple teams, and I'm holding.
I do remember you
holding on for dear life.
You were a believer that he was a guy, that he was going to be a thing.
Holding on to him.
All right. Anything else that jumps out at you that people need to know about for this week?
No, not a whole lot. I mean, I look at everybody's going to be on the Patriots, and they should be this week.
I mean, it's probably most weeks that you should be on the Patriots.
But Miami's been a house of horrors for them, and I know this isn't different. I know. See, we say that all the time. We say that. How many years do we have to say?
Specifically this year.
We said that last year.
No, not like
Miami
this.
was done.
Miami
was done at the end of the year.
We didn't say it like this.
I'm just cautioning. I'm just
Play your Patriots.
I'm
Play
playing
'em.
my Patriots.
Yeah, play 'em
I'm
all.
playing them all in
Play 'em
DFS
all.
too.
Play them all.
I gave a great DFS
go
lineup.
borrow some people's Patriots so you can play them.
Play Izzo.
Yeah,
Tight
I mean,
end.
if you can do that, absolutely.
Play Izzo at tight end.
My God, man.
Why not?
Play Brandon Bolden, who I think has been there since the Tuck Rule game.
By the way, I will say this. After this week, so your waiver wire on Tuesday morning, everybody needs to start paying attention to the Tates of the world, Golden Tate, the Ben Watsons of the world.
The 4-game suspension.
The 4-game suspension guys. If you have room, how you do this fantasy thing is you get guys before everybody else is telling you that they're the waiver wire pickup. They will be on my list on my primer on Tuesday to be ahead of everybody. But start thinking about that. Start looking at your, for 1 week, can I get by with who I have and then have Golden Tate on my team? Tight end. Everybody's struggling at tight end. Who do I pick up? Do I pick up this garbage, that garbage? Ben Watson is going to be the starting tight end
for the Patriots.
The
team that we were just talking about.
For the Patriots. Right. So let's start thinking ahead of those things as we're whether we're in panic mode or whether we feel good after week 1 because you got the win. Start looking at your lineup a week ahead of time.
It's very smart. I don't disagree whatsoever. Would you? No, I'm not even going to bother. Would you be dropping Greg Olson in favor of Ben Watson?
Not yet.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Not yet.
Okay.
Now, if he comes up lame again this week, I mean, it looks like he's going to play tonight from everything I've read, and that's a good sign on a short week for a guy that's coming back from injury. But I mean, not for him. But if you're looking at guys that are not, if Njoku's invisible, I would go grab him. If Cook's invisible again, I would go grab him. If you're one of these people that's saying, am I playing Ebron, Eifert, or Rudolph every week, I would go get Ben Watson on my team.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. Thanks you to Glory Days Grill. Thank you to them. Catch all of the action at your neighborhood Glory Days Grill, where they have tons of TVs. Catch every moment of every game. Glory Days Grill. Great food, good sports. Don't forget, Ken Zalis is hanging out with me again this week on Project Game Day. He'll be hanging out post-game.
Hope it goes just as well.
I mean, yeah, we can start in the middle of the third quarter this time around. I'd like to do that. You got to get here a little bit earlier. I was ready to start.
I know you were. I was like,
I
looked up. I was like, oh my God, there's only like 2 minutes left in the third quarter. I got to leave.
Of course, it's always awkward because you could have the thing happen that happened to Rita and I in the playoffs last year, where we were like, well, it's a 3-touchdown game. We might as well go ahead and start the post-game show. And then all of a sudden we're like, we might be doing a drastically different. This is really, really weird. But that'll be the same spots, facebook.com/PressBoxSports, PressBoxOnline.com/radio for Project Game Day on Sunday after Baltimore, Arizona. At Fans Fantasy on Twitter is how you follow him. PressBoxOnline.com to see all of his rankings, DFS stuff.
DFS is up today. It's already up.
Very good. Very good. Go check it all out there. KZ, appreciate it, pal.
Thanks, guys.
We will see you next Thursday for the next episode of the PressBox Fantasy Football Show. Tomorrow morning for Glenn Clark Radio. This has been the PressBox Fantasy Football Show, brought to you by Wise Markets and Glory Days Grill.